Welcome back to the class. And in the previous class, we have studied about we came to know various terms like environment, ecosystem, food chain, food web, biosphere, etc. And now we are going to see something about this pyramid. What is this pyramid? It's an ecological pyramid. So that term, ecological pyramid, was coined by the scientist Charles Elton. Charles Elton has coined the term ecological pyramid. So mainly ecological pyramid, pyramid of numbers, pyramid of energy, etc. So what is pyramid of numbers? That means when the food chain is observed, what happens? The energy in the form of food is passed on from one traffic level to another traffic level. So during that time, what happens? Usually the number of producers will be more, and the number of primary consumers, secondary consumers. So it gradually decreases, forming a pyramid-like structure. That is called pyramid of numbers. usually the the producers number is less, and the number gradually decreases when we reach the top level consumer. And in the same way, pyramid of energy. So what is pyramid of energy? It means biomass is present in the organism. What is biomass? Biomass is the organic material that is present in the organism which can be converted into energy. That is called biomass. So here, pyramid of energy, what happens? So not all the energy that is present at one level cannot be transferred to the another level. So let us see the example. So let us take the plant. So plant takes the sunlight, only 1% of the sunlight that falls on the leaves. That means that it cannot utilize all the sunlight. So only 1% of sunlight can be utilized by the leaves. And then what happens? The plant synthesizes food material, and this food material is utilized by the plant for its own growth, development, and activities. So many metabolic activities taking place even in the plants. We have studied already. So all these metabolic activities require some amount of energy. So that is why the plants use their food material for various activities. That is so some amount of energy is utilized by the plant for its growth, development, and various life activities. And then it is consumed by primary consumer, that is herbivorous animals. So herbivorous animals cannot eat the entire plant. That means they can eat only a part of the plant, that is leaves and tender branches they can eat. And most of the plant body is left as it is. That means the roots, the stem, the thick branches, they cannot be consumed by the primary consumers. So that means only 10% of energy is transferred to the next trophic level. And in the same way, the herbivorous animals are eaten by carnivorous animals. So carnivorous animals, how do they eat? The herbivorous animals, as in the case of plants, the herbivorous animals, they utilize the energy that they have consumed from the plants for their own growth, development, life activities, etc. And most of it is utilized by the animals. And the remaining part of the energy is transferred to the carnivores. So even carnivores cannot eat the entire body of the herbivores. That means various parts. That means if a lion eats a deer, it cannot consume the whole body. That means bones, hooves, horns, skin, fur. All these things are left behind. They cannot be consumed, they cannot be digested. Only the organic material can be consumed. That means from herbivores to carnivores, only 10% of energy is transferred to the next level. So in this way, we can see step by step various animals. That means from producers to primary consumers to secondary consumers. The entire energy cannot be transferred to the next trophic level. Only 10% of the energy is transferred to the next trophic level in the food chain. Okay, so if you see an example how much of energy. Let us take the example aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means the plants which grow in water, and so let us imagine their organic material is 1000 kgs. So when the aquatic plants are eaten by aquatic animals, that means herbivorous fishes, then only out of 10 kgs, only 100 kgs of energy is transferred. And when these herbivorous fishes are eaten by carnivorous fishes, the large fishes, from 100 kgs, only 10 kgs of energy is transferred. And when man eats the fishes, he cannot eat the entire body. Lot of the fish body is left behind. Only 1 kg of energy is transferred to the top level consumer. That means at every topic level, only 10% of energy is transferred to the next topic level. So whatever food chain, whenever you observe a food chain, what happens? Food chain always starts with the producers and ends with the top level consumer. But it always starts with the plants. That is autotrophs, that is producers. So that is about ecological pyramid, so which was coined by the scientist Charles Elton. That means the transfer of energy, the number, whatever, it resembles the pyramid. So pyramid of Egypt you might have heard. So it resembles the shape and structure of pyramid. That is why he has given the term ecological pyramid, pyramid of mass, pyramid of energy, pyramid of biomass, etc. But whatever the food chain always starts with the producers. That you have to remember. So that is about the important part of the food chain, how the energy in the form of food is transferred from one organism to another organism. Each level is termed as a trophic level. Okay, that is the thing. And nature has given us a lot of resources, number of resources. What are so the resources can be divided into two parts: renewable resources and non-renewable resources. What are renewable resources? Renewable resources are those which do not come to an end after a lot of usage. That means whatever the thing we use, they do not come to an end, like sunlight, wind, water, plants, animals, etc. They are renewable resources. And the non-renewable resources are those which can get exhausted if we use them indiscriminately. Excessive use of these resources will make the resources come to an end. So they are called non-renewable resources. So that is petrol, petroleum products, coal, minerals. So these are all non-renewable resources. But what man is doing, man through his activities, he is converting renewable resources to non-renewable resources. So actually water is a renewable resource, but excessive use of water, indiscriminate use of water makes water come to an end. In the same way, plants and animals, plants cutting up the trees, deforestation results making the plants into non-renewable resources. That means the plant population is reducing day by day. And in the same way, animals. That means indiscriminate killing of the animals, overhunting of the animals makes the animals come to an end. And there are also so many animals are becoming extinct, and so many animals are in endangered condition. Even the plants, so many species are becoming endangered due to activities of human beings. So that is why it is very important to use the resources in such a way that so that means the how development, that means using the resources in a proper way results in development. So that means using of resources and conservation of the resources leads to development. So that is why we have to use the resources in a proper way, in such a manner that the resources can be passed on to future generations, so that the future generation also can enjoy the resources. That is why it is very important to save the resources, use the resources in a proper way, in a discriminate manner. but man is doing lot of damage to the environment that we will discuss in the next chapter. And next thing, so in nature there are two types of substances, biodegradable substances and non-biodegradable substances. What are biodegradable substances? Biodegradable substances are natural. That means the plant and animal products. That means when the plants die, they'll be decomposed by the saprophytes, and they can be re-enter. They can be recycled. That means they are used by they become degraded, decomposed, and they can be used in the form of fertilizers or compost, etc. But there are certain resources which are non-biodegradable substances. Non-biodegradable substances means these such substances, they cannot be acted upon by the microorganisms. Here the biodegradable substances, the saprophytes like bacteria and fungi, they act on those substances and they decompose them, and they can mix up with the soil. But in the case of non-biodegradable substances, they cannot be degradable. That means bacteria or fungi, they cannot act upon such substances. They are called non-biodegradable substances, like synthetic substances like plastic covers, polythene covers, and plastic glasses, whatever synthetic substances which we use, they are called non-biodegradable substances. It takes some hundreds and thousands of years for them to mix up with the soil. But biodegradable substances, they can be acted upon by the microorganisms, they can be decomposed, and they can be reused in the form of compost, in the form of natural fertilizers, and they mix up with the soil very quickly. But these non-biodegradable substances cause loss of harm to the environment, leading to so many problems. So let us discuss about these harmful effects of these non-biodegradable substances. So non-biodegradable substances, how they can be, that means usage of non-biodegradable substances has to be reduced. And nowadays, instead of using, they are making biodegradable plastics things, so that which can be degraded easily, and they do not cause any harm to the environment. So in this way you can see we have to save the environment, we have to coexist along with the environment without doing any harm. That means due to all these non-biodegradable substances, a lot of imbalance is taking place, and it is causing so many diseases to the organisms. So that is very important to save the environment, to protect the animals. That means so cattle and various grazing animals, they eat away these plastics, and they die due to the entry of these non-biodegradable substances into their body. So, and if we burn them, what happens? A lot of poisonous substances are mixed with the air and cause air pollution. Or if they are left into the water, again they block the flow of water in the rivers, lakes, etc. And they cause death of so many aquatic organisms. So that is why the use of non-biodegradable substances has to be made minimum. So that means minimum use of non-biodegradable substances should be there. So that is why there is a thing that is RRR. That is reduce, reuse and recover. That means in the way, that means reducing the use of these non-biodegradable substances, reusing them, and also recycling them. So that is 3 R's, RRR. So it can be explained. The logo is like this: reduce, reuse and recycle. That means they cannot go as a waste and cause environmental pollution. To prevent this RRR, reduce, reuse and recycle. So these are the 3 R's that are proposed, and so many organizations are taking part in reducing the use of these non-biodegradable substances. That means instead of using plastic bags, etc., it is very important to use the plant product, that is cloths and jute bags, etc. That means it is in our hand to save and protect the environment by reducing the use of non-biodegradable substances and using biodegradable substances. And we shall move on to the next topic in the next class. Okay, thank you.